Well, the time has come, ladies and gentlemen. The Tigers are finally eliminated from the playoffs. I honestly thought this would happen 2 weeks ago. So at this point, I really didn't. I debated not even doing a rant because really beating Cleveland in the wild card on the road after they beat us last year, after they came back, they beat us in that division after a big lead that we choked. Beating them in the wild card really just felt like it erased that mostly. You still didn't have home field advantage, but you still lasted longer. You were still the top Central team left at the end of the day. You still got to fight in the ALDS. And Cleveland was out. You beat Cleveland. A team that you went 1-5 against in 6 fucking games right before the end of the season. So I debated not even making a video, but I am making one. Because despite that, there are still lots of things to go over about the Tigers. Because, quite frankly, they were in a position to win this series handily. If you would have told me that they were going to take 2 games from Seattle, 2 games, one of them on the road, in a bullpen game, in extra innings, I would have said they're going to win the series in 4 games. If not a sweep. Yet they lost in 5. That's because they lost 2 starts. Derek Skubal starts. They lost 2 Skubal starts. I know that Derek Skubal struggled against Seattle this year. But he did good against Seattle in both of his outings. 3 playoff starts again for Skubal. 36 strikeouts? He's averaging 12 strikeouts a game? That's insane. He sets a postseason record for most consecutive strikeouts. He ties the Tigers record for most strikeouts in a playoff game. 14 against Cleveland. Puts on an absolute show. And you win. You go 1-2 in his 3 starts. What the fuck? And as we come into this rant, I'm not going to be shitting on the pitching. The pitching was inconsistent in the regular season, yes. But in playoff time, they came through. Derek Skubal, obviously Derek Skubal, he did great. Will Vest, fucking amazing as a closer this year. Hell, we got a lot of good bullpen support. Melton, Herder was okay, pretty good. Montero was awesome. We had, all these guys contributing. I mean, again, we won a fucking bullpen game in extra innings on the road. What more is there to fucking say about this bullpen? It was freaking awesome. They did an amazing job. That's not where the fault goes for not just the loss in the playoffs, but the season collapse, losing the division, all that jazz, right? Comes on 2 things. First one is the hitting. You remember back at the trade deadline when Pizza Man, parking lot man, ooh, look at my parking lots, they just look like my pizza. Massive and overpriced. Whoa! Yeah, you remember him and fucking Scott Harris? Guess how many hitters they picked up at the deadline for trading? Zip. 0. And guess what? It fucked them in the ass. Their 2 through 5 hitters, Gleyber Torres, Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green, Cole Keith, and I don't even remember who the other guy was. McKinstry, I think. 0 for 23 with 12 strikeouts in Game 5. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, Christ's sakes, the only guy that was showing up on the bats in the playoffs was Javi Baez. Javi fucking Baez of all people. The motherfucker was actually laying off sliders and he hit a home run. And you wasted it because we just had to watch. Oh my God, that's my MLB strikeout leader. We got to see Riley Green, big uppercut on a fucking sinker in the dirt. Or we got to watch. I didn't even get the chance to have a playoff torch bomb again. What the hell is Torkelson even good for in the playoffs? Sure, Shane ain't his hitting. He had what? 4 total hits in the playoffs over 8 games. 4 hits in 8 games. What is that? That's like almost as bad as last year. He had like 1 hit last year. That is 5 hits over 15 playoff games. That's not even. That's a third of a hit per game average. How about fucking Parker Meadows? What was he doing in the lineup? That guy laid off more meatballs than an anti-Italian. How many pitches down the middle are you going to take, Parker Meadows? How many times are you going to swing out, Parker Meadows? How many times are you going to ground out with the guy on second, Parker Meadows? How many times are you going to be unproductive as shit, Parker Meadows? And then the guy that sucked ass the most in the playoffs, it wasn't Riley Green. Riley Green actually came through a couple times. It wasn't Torkelson. You know, what is he good for? What is he good for? 4 hits and 3 fucking errors, apparently. Yeah, you have three errors. Playing first base. What the fuck? It wasn't Parker Meadows either. No. It's Cole Keith. What is Cole for Cole Keith? 1 hit. I know he was out of the wild card round. It's 1 hit over 5 games. 1 hit over 5 games. And you're on this gigantic rookie contract. And you're mustering up 1 hit in 5 games against the same pitchers. I mean, what are we doing, man? Top prospect my ass. Dude was an automatic out every time he came up to the plate. Unless he got hit by a pitch or they fucking threw it away and he ran to first base. That was it. I mean, I don't think I have seen a team strike out more in a series than I did the Tigers in these playoffs. How many times are we gonna fucking strike out? First it was just taking the meatballs down the middle, so now we're just gonna swing at every fucking pitch in the dirt. It was literally the same thing every fucking time. First pitch, right down the middle, is a home run ball. They don't swing at it. So the next 2 pitches are in the dirt, and they swing at that. I mean, literally, all Seattle could throw were splitters and sliders. And we couldn't lay off either one at any point. Not like we could do anything else. You know, anytime we actually got somebody on base, strikeout, 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 pop fly. Oh, the ball happened to hit the weakest part of the bat, so it just shatters for an infield ground out. Oh, what, bunting? That worked in game 1 of the wild card series, so we're not going to do it ever again? And pop fly, pop fly, pop fly. I know Seattle is apparently not a good park to hit the ball with, but what's with the pop flies? I mean, seriously, Seattle could figure it out. You got Jorge Polanco over here looking like he's in 2014 form, fucking killing Scuba with 2 home runs. They weren't even close. The other guy, the other part of the problem is it's not the bats, and it's AJ Hinch. AJ Hinch. You've been fine as a manager in Detroit so far. I know you've led the charge to come back to the playoffs last couple years. But we gotta talk. What the fuck are you thinking? I mean, it was on full display. Game 5 was a catalytic Tigers game this season. It had everything. You have Tarek Skubal on the mound, absolutely dealing in a 1-run game. He is 13 Ks. I know his pitch count was high, but we let fucking Justin Verlander throw 133 pitches back in 2011. It worked out then. He's still fucking playing now. So why are you taking his ass out of the game? You let him go 105 pitches against Cleveland. That made less sense. But here you're just going to pull him when he's absolutely dealing? Come on, man. Especially with a gassed bullpen. It's had to do so much. I know they showed up again. Well, except for the 2 guys you actually put in. Kyle Finnegan's our only good trade acquisition all season, but he got rocked by Seattle. Guess what? He gets rocked again. And then your next great decision, you have all these other guys at your disposal. You have Melton, you have Herder, you have fucking anybody else, and you throw in Tyler Holton, the guy who has had the worst playoffs out of any pitcher on the Tigers all season. So you throw him in a 1-run game with a 1-run lead, and we have 2 guys on base. Are you surprised at what happened next when the fucking guy who just came from the fucking lug nuts just comes up and dings a ball into left field and ties the game? Ended up being the difference. Like, in what world do you think it was okay to put him on the mound? Put somebody who's proved themselves. You want to talk about proving themselves? What about your offensive substitutions? Game 3 and Game 4, you sub out Riley Green, you sub out Parker Meadows, you sub out these guys, and you put in like Andy Ibanez, Wenzel Perez, you put in Josh Jones. And guess what? It worked. They came through. They got hits. They got runs. They showed momentum. They did all this stuff. So why in Game 5, when you're going to 15 fucking innings, do you not put any of them in? You not only make the lineup the exact same that it was when you're getting your ass beat, but you don't even make any substitutions. I mean, how many fucking times are we going to stand there and watch Riley Green uppercut strikeout? How many times are we going to watch our 2-5 guys go all for 23 and you don't make any changes? They're sitting there on the bench, ready to go, and we're deep into the game. Everybody's tired to put these fresh guys in. You had the advantage on the bench, and you didn't do anything with it. Seriously, what were you thinking? They showed that it worked in Game 4, and you didn't do anything. And you're like, oh, it was for defensive reasons. Gleyber Torres, great second baseman. Parker Meadows, great center fielder. Riley Green, great left fielder. And yeah, that's true. They are good at that. I will give them credit. They are a great defensive team. But how does that explain Colkey? How does that explain leaving fucking Colkey? Said he was the DH. He was the DH. What sense does it make to leave Colkey in? And I'm not saying that Perez or Banez or Josh Jones or anybody would have done any better than Colt Keith did. But at least you try. At least you tried. He got more hits than Colt Keith ever fucking has. What a bust he's been. But he gets starting playing time because they're bribing the team with his rich-ass family. Thanks to that fucking giant-ass rookie contract that was so deserved. Just hit fucking 10 home runs in the regular season and hit one ball in the playoffs. That's the Tigers for you. I just don't understand, AJ Hinch, what you do. You pulled Skubal too early. You pulled Finnegan too early. You pulled Melton too early. You don't make any offensive substitutions at all when all signs pointed to making a one. Just one. Pull Colt Keith. I mean, how many times were we going to stand there and watch him ground out or strike out? He was not going to ever get a hit. I don't know why you trusted in him. You're like, oh, analytics. Analytics say that he's going to get a hit. Analytics don't mean shit. Analytics does not account for the fact that Colt Keith's brain's the size of a fucking peanut. And it was just a cataclysmic amount of things that came to this. The Tigers trolling everybody all season long with all this stuff, Had a 15.5 game lead in the division, and then the bats go ice cold. They pulled a little fucking, they went to the like the Trump dance. Oh, look at me with the Yankees. And you lose the Marlins. Then you go to Cleveland, and Scooble's like, oh, line it up on center. I'm Dan Skipper. Oh, fucking yeets the ball the next Sunday. Then we got swept by goddamn Atlanta. Somehow. Then we lose at Cleveland again. We lost to Boston. Barely squeak in. Thank you, Astros, by the way. And then you beat Cleveland. And you showed hope. You showed flashes of that potential of the team that you could be in Game 3. Coming through with big hits, home runs. Game 4 of this series, same thing. Only to revert back to the same shit that you kept doing. And it really comes to the main issue with the team, and I know for a fact it's not going to change, and that's ownership. Chris Ilitch does not care about improving because he's making the big bucks. He does not care. And the more times that gets into the sense of the rest of the organization, maybe the faster that this asshole can be usurped from power so he no longer destroys his dad's image. And then maybe Scott Harris will finally do something. Get players. Get trade acquisitions. You know Seattle's difference in the game in this series? 2 trade acquisitions. Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor. Just so great. I'm the fattest guy in the MLB. So I'm just going to hit a fucking double off of a check swing. A check swing double. And then I'm gonna steal third. She's the second slowest player in the league. He steals third. And he's over here fucking stealing signs. Oh, 45,000 fans at American Park. I bet you can't see this. Go the fuck home and be with your newborn. Because you know who he played for? You know where he came from? You know where the fuck he came from? Well, first Arizona. He got traded from Arizona. But you know who was there before that? He was for Cleveland. He was on the Cleveland team last year. So even at the end of the day, even though we beat Cleveland, even though Cleveland is out, they still get the last laugh because one of their players fucking single-handedly beat us. That first run, because of bullshit that he pulled, was the difference in the game. I'll never get over that. Whatever. Again, I didn't even debate making this because, you know, I'm rooting for Seattle. Not Josh Naylor, but the rest of Seattle I'm rooting for because, you know, they never made the World Series before. I'd like to see them finally make it. Toronto, I'd like to see them make the World Series too. So I think that'll be a good series, regardless. Cubs, fine with them making the World Series again. Brewers, I'd like to see them make it. Never won it before. And just not the Dodgers, please. Just not the Dodgers. Because fuck the Dodgers. Even though they did the funny and beat the Phillies. Because I hate the Phillies too. Now I need the Dodgers to lose, but we'll see what happens, I guess. So it's unfortunate because of what's coming next year as well. Scooble's a free agent after the season next year. I don't think they're going to sign him. I don't think they're going to pay his contract. His agent's going to want a $400 million deal. Or he's going off to New York. Hell, they might say no to a $400 million deal and then accept a $350 million deal to go to New York. Just so they can go to fucking New York or LA. You might do that. Scooble's gone. Really. And they might not even get to use the last year of him because there's an impending lockout. Because the MLB is trying to implement a salary cap to prevent what they're doing with Shohei Ohtani on the Dodgers. And players don't like that because they want to be paid, obviously. So there's going to be a lockout. Not even giving Scooble a chance at his last season with the Tigers. Then he's going to walk anyways because we're not going to have a chance to sign him. Don't you just love blowing back-to-back Game 5s with Scooble on the mound? Whatever. Guess what it is, huh? All I know is I should have went to Seattle because apparently they do really good in my presence. As per Game 4. Great time, by the way. Great time. Loved watching a playoff baseball game in person. So much better than watching on TV with those shitty Fox 1 announcers. That's my bitchings and ramblings as a tired Tigers fan that had to stay up till 1:30 in the morning to watch that shit show. It was a classic. I don't know what I'm saying, a shit show. It was a shit show because they lost. But it's over now. So Time to watch the Lions. Time to watch the Pistons. Time to watch our MSU hockey team. Time to watch our MSU basketball team. Not our football team, though. Football team's kind of ass. So, maybe I'll make a video on that in the future. So, Gritty Tigs live on.